Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. How are we all this morning, wherever you are, or this evening, wherever you are in the world? I hope you're staying safe and well, and thank you for tuning in. I wanted to do a little bit of Q&A today, just various things that have come across my desk, as well as a look, of course, at the former president's impeachment trial. But I did say I'll start with the vaccines, and so that's where I want to start. I'm using my Golden Tarot today. I'll be clarifying with my Aquarian Tarot, and I think that I'll pull an Oracle card from the Elemental Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. So anyone who's looking for what decks I'm using, I do say them during the reading, and I also list them in the drop down menu. I found I was just like, my fingers were getting tired typing the same things about what decks I was using. So you'll always find them, whether I say them or whether I don't. You'll find them in the drop down menu underneath this video. Alright, so let's pull an Oracle card just on the energies that we're in at the moment. Of course, you would have seen my last reading. Thank you for your feedback on that stellium in over DC, certainly in the 8th house of Aquarius, highlighting what's ending and what's beginning. And I do want to say, for those that are thinking that the former president won't face justice, I get in very, very strongly that he will. Okay, now whether it's via conviction in this trial or whether it's via criminal proceedings, he absolutely will. And he'll be facing state criminal proceedings. And if he hasn't got a pocket pardon, my feeling is the new AG, Merrick Garland, could actually go after him for insurrection, which is, or whatever that charge is around his role in the Capitol. New reporting has shown that his campaign, his political organisation, his campaign, has given or provided the rally and those attending the rally $3.5 million. I've posted that story on my Facebook page if you want to read about it. So there's a monetary tie here as well. The Democrats in the Senate are laying out the case as if it was in a courtroom. So we know Pence didn't pardon him. If he has a pocket pardon, we don't even know that that's going to hold up in future. So it comes down to whether the new incoming AG will prosecute him or not. But certainly the Democrats are laying out a case as it might be laid out in a court of law. All right, so let's have a look at the energies for this week. Show me what we need to know, what we need to be aware of, messages, energies, what we need to know at this time, please, Spirit. Interesting. Wind of change. The winds of change are here. That's exactly what that stellium reading that I did predicted. We have change. We know we're in change, in the middle of change. Things might seem a little bit topsy-turvy at the moment because structures are changing. Things are being upended. It's just such a huge energy around seeing and learning and seeing what's in the darkness as well. And once we do that, we bring through the light. This is all about learnings. Number 7 can often be described as notches on the belt, the wisdom that we need to earn and learn, or learn and earn, and the change that we go through in the getting of wisdom. Now I've got the ice here, and this horse 33 communication. It always comes forward when I'm doing my preparation for my readings, and to me the horse signifies this freedom, moving forward and moving forward freely. And it is around communication. It's like all the barbs that we've said of the past are somehow, once we see them, because this is purity ice, and this is coming up and breaking through that in order to get to the freedom that we desire, we need, we want. And it's time. Okay, it's simply time. It's time to do it. That clock is ticking. So these cards are reflecting the very deep and significant times that we are living in. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, and I've got a question about the UK as well. And in an upcoming reading with Dr. Vicky Skerbo, we'll be looking around the world. In fact, we'll do sessions that, perhaps a regular monthly session, although, I have to be careful of my commitments. But we'll be doing around the world type of session, perhaps once a month, if I'm able, because I do have family commitments, which are pretty, they take first priority. So that's the energy of those cards here. And now let's do some questions with the Golden Tarot. This is a vaccination question that I've said that I will address in a reading, and this is around variants and mutations. I did see one of my very early readings on the pandemic said that the vaccine will struggle with mutations. Now, I don't think that's all of the vaccinations, only some. And that's the question that I will ultimately ask. Will a vaccine be effective, regardless of whichever one it is, be effective against current and new mutations of coronavirus? Will a vaccine, wherever it is, however it's developed, now I'm getting the star here, which is a nice symbol to have. It's talking about, now I think I'm seeing the Statue of Liberty, so it could be that something in America, a vaccine in America is effective or will be effective, will be proven to be effective against various variants. So show me what I need to see in the cards, please. Will a vaccine, regardless of where it comes from, be effective against mutations of this virus? We have Justice. Now, that's a karmic card. I will be doing some readings once we get a little bit beyond. I have read in the past why this virus is so significant, why this time is so significant, but I have Justice here. Now, to me, Justice says what was taken away is given back. That's a balancing of the scales, so I like that. I'll just pull a quick shortened down Celtic cross and you can see the cards. What is that challenge by the Knight of Swords? So the quickness at which things change. So Justice and the Knight of Swords, it's interesting combination. This talks about a karmic kind of lesson around the truth. Now, that's not in relation to our pandemic, is it? But this pandemic came when we had a crisis of truth. Now, the Hierophant card is government. It's higher sources. It can be health, it can be education, can be law, but it is government. So this is showing me that there is a government, or the government will be able to manage these various mutations. In the past, we've had the downturn in the economies. We've had the needing to tighten our belts, lock down, and it's made people very insecure financially as well. But I think enough work has been done, or that's the impression I've got, on vaccines to ensure that they will be effective against mutations. Now, for the moment, I mean, I can't speak about a virus that might come in a decade or in the next in 5 years' time. But we've got Temperance crowning this reading, which is healing and balance. So we've got a huge rebalancing here. So at the spiritual level, but we also have. My question was about the vaccines. Now, we've got the Five of Swords, so we need to watch, and this kind of speaks to what is going on with vaccinations around the world at the moment. Some have them, some don't. Some are taking them away There's a panic, just as you saw those supermarket aisles emptying. There is a panic amongst certain governments about making sure they've got enough for themselves. Some are going to miss out on vaccinations as a result. I'll keep going with this. Three of Wands, yes, enough has been done. And I think more will be done as well. Yeah, there will be contracts. Okay. So what this reading is telling me is that there will be countries that are or will miss out on some vaccinations. There's going to be a stepping up and a coordinated effort to make sure, whether that's through the World Health Organization, whether that's through America, whether it's through some other country, stepping up and providing the world with vaccinations that will withstand the mutations. Now, it keeps going back to truth here, the Ace of Swords. We need to be open and truthful about this abuse of power, because if we're not, it thrives. And so I feel this is what's likely to change in this whole vaccination coronavirus type of atmosphere, that in the past we haven't had this full transparency. Here's our star. So that's validation that there will be a vaccination. And I do think the US is going to play a role. I think that they will play a role in getting either manufacturing or getting vaccinations to other countries. The vaccination that works against the variants, against the mutations. I think that's what I'm being told here because of that star card. And they'll do it because there's been huge loss and grief and people passing over, loss of life. And we've got the Six of Cups going back to the past. So we thankfully are on a stronger, more solid ground at the moment. King of Wands stepping forward. There's going to be leadership here. I think I have to go to the US. The US is going to start to lead again in relation to vaccines, but not just lead, empower others to lead, other global structures. Because right now I'm seeing a lot of deception around vaccinations and a lot of infighting, like the rush on the supermarket aisles, but that's going to be addressed in the future. There is one vaccine, I think it might be an American vaccine, and we're going to see leadership as well that is stable against mutations, more so than any others, or more so than others. So Australia, of course, we haven't got our vaccinations yet. We're a bit late to the party, and of course the EU has threatened to hold back doses of the AstraZeneca vaccination. Now the AstraZeneca has been proven to be fairly ineffective against the new South African strain. So, maybe we'll be able to get more of the vaccinations that are effective against new strains of this virus. We'll see. In any case, the virus is in low numbers in Australia. All right, let's have a look at the Tories. We'll skip across the ocean and a few continents to get to the UK. Now, people have asked me, will Boris Johnson be returned at the next election? Or will the Tory party be returned, or will there be change? Will Boris Johnson be returned at the next election, or is it time for change in the UK? Will Boris Johnson, or will the Tories be returned, because they have a habit of changing leaders in order, to get a leg up in an election? Will the Tories be, as do Australia, will the Tories be successful? Will they win at the next election? Show me clearly. The Page of Cups, there's going to be some kind of surprise around the next election, something that we weren't expecting. And we've got things coming forward very quickly. By the time we get to that election, there's going to be a lot that we will learn that may not be. This is suggestive of things coming forward very, very quickly, surprises. Six of Cups, going back to the past, going back to our higher selves. Perhaps something in the past, by the time we get to that election, is revealed, and it takes everybody by surprise. We have the Three of Coins in the past. Who worked with whom, coming together, working within teams, rebuilding something. But we also have restriction here, the Eight of Swords. So people are very worried in the UK at the moment about their leadership. I think that's a general comment I can make. And things haven't been going all that well as a result of the current party. But they are feeling a little battle weary, a little bit like they've been through. And this is, you only have to read the numbers around COVID to know that's how they feel. And there's also Brexit in there and putting barriers up as well. There is this downturn, money loss, downturn in the economy. And of course that has to be addressed. The environment around us, families. I think if there's going to be change, it will be families deciding that they're better off with another government. Families are hurting at the moment. That's what I'm seeing. In the hopes and fears is the abundance card, the Empress card. And that's in the fear position, that the abundance is just not there. The Hermit, investigation. This is a Virgo card. Reflection, isolation. Let's see what's clarifying that. The Page of Swords, some kind of truth coming out as well. To me, this is Brexit and the economy. That's how they're going to be judged, and also the management of the virus, all hitting England at the same time. I'm just going to draw a clarification on that Hermit. Underneath we have the Five of Wands. So, really, really strong partisan type politics hasn't done the country any good. Show me this Hermit card. Is this a yes or no? Deep reflection about the truth and about what decisions have cost financially. It's the economy. There's just this really deep reflection, I feel, that will be the case at the time of the election. Show me this Hermit. Show me this Hermit. Yeah, the Seven of Swords. Somebody has been deceived. People are going to feel like they've been deceived about future prosperity. The Ten of Pentacles, which hasn't come to pass. And I tell you what, this feeling is just going to escalate and escalate. At the root of the reading is the King of Pentacles. This is sort of almost like being caught up in the Trumpian years. Whatever decisions have been taken have not manifested the prosperity or the well-being, and it's particularly hurt families, and they're going to be judging at the next election. But it's a real deep soul searching, I feel. All right, so let's just have a look at how the impeachment is going. I watch footage I haven't seen. I listened to dispatch calls which called a riot hours before the former president stepped up and said, to go home. But in that, he described the crowd. I think we love you, patriots. We love you. The defendants currently before the court, it's been revealed that a lot of them are either unemployed, have tax issues, have criminal histories. This was a mob that was incited. And the impeachment trial, as I said at the beginning of this reading, it's being laid out as though it's before a court of law. And I tell you, let's see if any of those Republicans are going to be swayed. Okay, so first of all, how's it going? How's it going? So we have the Emperor, which is control. But the Nine of Cups, okay, is challenging that. So we've got wish fulfillment. This is also the smug merchant as well. That's the signifier card. Let's have a look here. The Nine of Coins, luxury. There's a quote that I came upon. I go to prison for 20 years and he goes back to his life of luxury. Even those people that were in the mob are turning against this former president. It's just like it's all on display. The truth is laid there bare. It's bare truth, undeniable truth. The Four of Cups, somebody is losing something in the past and is disappointed. And I think this is, I'm getting the draw to the crowd. They're bitterly disappointed because they feel that they were, and rightly so, used. But these are people that broke the law and people got hurt. Now, in the sky is the voters, the Ten of Cups. One of the demographics that cost the former president his election were white male suburban voters. So we know women in the suburbs carried the midterms, but this time it was the white males in the suburbs, the families, the dads, worried about their safety, their security. And it's interesting because you would have thought with all the division and hate and race baiting, it would have been something different. But these people are worried about what happened on the Capitol. And they will be coming back and they will be voting against potentially Republicans in 2022. It's not going to go the way that they're thinking. The Five of Wands, we've just got this partisanship still. When I said this isn't my first rodeo, I meant it. I've read on impeachment trials before. I've read on Judge SCOTUS nominations as well. And this card just keeps coming back and back. It is the partisan nature of the Senate. Page of Swords right now, multiple truths are being revealed with this Page of Swords. And we've got a butterfly here, you know, suggesting some kind of metamorphosis. Let's see what's in the environment around. Yeah. There are some senators there that will, even though they may have voted for not to go ahead with the trial, there are some senators that may cross the aisle. Are there going to be enough of them? I'm not sure. They fear the truth. So my last question today will be, will the new AG prosecute Trump? The Ace of Swords, because imagine that. A Republican senators won't convict, and then later on down the track, the former president is charged or criminally investigated for this insurrection. The Ten of Coins. Okay, so we've got money, legacies, suggesting again this big money in politics. That's what they're worried about, these Republicans. And they're trying to keep their secrets again around the money. So, $3.5 million from the Trump political outfit to this rally, to the insurrection. There's something here that they're trying to keep secret. It will be interesting. What would be a huge revelation? And maybe I'll just finish with this reading. It's going to be hard to get that conviction because of the reasons that I've outlined. However, I still feel that some are going to change their vote. The King of Pentacles and the Fool, they definitely want to break away from him. So this is, again, we know the critical nature of this. My reading of a few days ago looked at the Democrats might have a backup plan. They're pretty savvy about what the Republicans, whether they will find their courage or not. It's not their first rodeo either. There's something here. Imagine a revelation coming forward about a record of a call that was made to the White House to Trump at the time that the Capitol was being declared a riot. A riot had broken out. The dispatch call showed that was, I think it was at around 1 o'clock. if communications come forward that he knew, he failed to stop it. That combined with everything else. So there's a whole lot around the trail of, I would just call it the chain of command, when a riot is at the capital that needs to come out. Let's see, will that come out? The records of calls and communiques between the police, Capitol Police, the Defence Department, the military, the White House aides, the Chief of Staff. Whew. Wheel of Fortune, I think it is going to come out. I got a real hit there on that. And the Four of Swords. Retreat, that can be wounded in battle. And the Empress card. Again, that idea or the symbol of Russia here, and with the Lovers. Okay, I know what this is saying. We don't need to take too much of a leap to understand that this is a former president who has had dealings with Russia over decades. There's something here around it being a strategy or a plan to weaken the country. Now, that is the big truth, not the big lie, but the big truth that needs to be gotten at. And as a result of that, we will have perhaps more clarity on the why this happened. It's not just about an election. It's around his relationship with Russia becoming known. That's interesting. Will the new AG, now we know at the state level, Georgia is going to investigate his call to the Secretary of State. In New York, we may have the answer there with Russia. We may have that. Let's see if the new incoming Attorney General, Merrick Garland, will investigate Trump, the former president. Will he investigate him? I think there's going to be the Five of Coins. We've got loss here. What's challenging that? Loss. Death. People died. People died in that insurrection. They have to. They have to see how it implicated or what his link was. His campaign funded the rally. The Nine of Wands we've just got is a question of timing. It's a question of timing, I feel. The Nine of Cups came up. Wish fulfillment. That's interesting. Came up in the last pull, wasn't it, as a challenge there. His wish, his hopes in leading that insurrection. Let's see. The Knight of Swords, yeah, the truth in the sky, the truth coming out. This is also his connection with Russia. I mean, we know this. We know it. The Three of Coins, working with others. So, a question of timing could be this. We have the states coming out with their investigations and litigations and evidence coming out. Also, there was a story carried that President Biden is considering handing, or his administration is considering handing over Trump's tax returns. We've got people working together to bring the whole truth out, I feel. The Six of Swords. Why? Because this is moving out of these troubled waters, and you can't do that, the Six of Swords, until that whole truth is there. But we have restriction at the moment. Again, it is a question, the Eight of Swords, it's a question of timing, I feel. The Ace of Wands, the hopes and fears, there is a plan there. There is a plan to bring this former president to justice. But there is just so much anxiety at the moment with this Nine of Swords. That's the outcome card about the truth. It's like these are the swords hanging over everybody as a result of what's gone on. These are the swords of truth that are here. And we've got the Knight of Coins. They'll take it slowly but surely. And I think, and the Ace of Swords, yeah. Yeah, they have a plan. They have a plan, perhaps working through or with state investigations. I feel there's going to be a special counsel. Ultimately, there will be a special counsel instructed to look at, it's like the former president's crimes commission, that type of thing that US Attorney or former US Attorney Glenn Kirshner always talks about. I think it's a special counsel to investigate the insurrection, and they'll be piggybacking off the evidence that's been presented in this impeachment. They have to be careful at the moment. This is the Two of Swords. It's really, as I said, around that timing. But there is this Five of Swords abuse of power. It could be with this Queen of Swords that a woman might lead this special counsel. I've always thought that Sally Yates might be tapped on the shoulder to lead this kind of commission or inquiry or special. She might be the special counsel. But they have plans already in place to look at this insurrection once the impeachment trial is finished. The new AG is on board, and this is why Senator Lindsey Graham is trying to stall everything. There is no way it's going to be stalled. I think there's going to be a special counsel to look at the events of January the 6th. All right, that's my reading for today. I hope you've enjoyed that. And I'll be back again with another reading soon. Thank you for tuning in.